Welcome back to the GenTwenty podcast. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Marina.
And today we're talking about play and how to have fun as an adult. So I like to refer to this as Kidulting because I actually wrote a book about this exact topic, and it's called the Kidult Handbook, A Grown-Up's Guide to Playing Like a Kid. So Kidult is a, combination of kid and adult, and I kind of love it. And it's all about indulging your inner child in the best way possible. So there are a lot of benefits to play, and that includes like boosting your creativity and releasing stress, all which are so important because we spend a lot of time as adults being stressed out about things that we don't necessarily need to be stressed out about, like making phone calls for doctor's appointments, that kind of thing. But still, they, bring stress in our lives. And especially now as adults who many of us have families to take care of, we have bills to pay, we have things to take care of. Like life can be stressful, and play is just all about it's kind of a healthy escape from that stress and really just allowing yourself to do things just simply for the pure joy of it. So today, Marina and I are going to share some of the things that we've been doing to play, both while we're in quarantine, especially right now. With the pandemic, things are a little stressful. I'm not going to bring that up again anytime soon. But yeah, just things we've been doing lately and other ideas that we have. And if you check the show notes, we have a very, very fun video of us making some frose from a few summers ago, which I highly recommend watching. It's really fun. And, make your own frose.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite pastimes to quote that video back to each other. So highly recommend both watching that video and making frose, which is just like it's a wine slushy, guys. You can't go wrong unless you don't drink wine, and then just use some other liquid.
Yeah, the slushy part still applies. All right, so some fun kidulting style things that I've been doing the past couple of weeks are I've actually been reading the Harry Potter books out loud to my son. He's about to turn 18 months, so he really doesn't know what I'm saying very much, but I'm having a lot of fun rereading them, and rereading them out loud is actually making me pay a lot more attention to what's really happening in the book because it's been a long time since I read the Harry Potter books myself, even just read them. And I feel like there's so much detail that I would have skipped over otherwise. So reading them out loud has been kind of a joy. And it's taking us about a month to get through each book. So, I don't know, maybe we'll finish by the end of the year. I don't know, considering we have the biggest ones left. But that's been really fun. And recently I've really taken up my adult coloring books again because I've been super anxious in the evenings, and just coloring while watching TV has really helped me like get into the mood to go to bed, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it totally does. I've been teaching myself to watercolor, and some of my favorite afternoons in the past couple of months have just been me listening to Spotify and watercoloring shapes. Like I don't even
Mm-hmm.
make pictures, I'm just doing shapes. And it's
Yeah.
so peaceful and so fun.
Yeah, and it's really just for the joy of doing it. Like we don't have to be experts at everything. We can just do things to laugh at them, laugh at ourselves, and just have fun. And I think that's so cathartic in its own way.
Yeah, and especially I feel like a lot of times with crafting at least, there's that mindset of, oh, maybe I should make this hobby into a business. And it's like, nope, these are just things to play and do for fun, not to turn into a side hustle or to have anything like any other value out of it other than fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on that same kind of note, I am horrible at crafting. I actually feel really bad for my future children because I I don't know, beyond like gluing popsicle sticks together, I'm terrible at crafts. It's
I
awful.
Yeah, I always have big ideas and then I look at what I've finished and I'm like, who did that? Who made that?
Yeah. Who is M. Krause? I don't know. Not me.
I don't know, not me.
Yeah. It's okay. We can, make it out of recyclable materials. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, like coloring and painting. I've been making my son paint. I don't know about making, but like we've been doing finger painting. It's kind of like a sensory activity and also just to help him, with his fine motor skills. But I don't know. I've been joining him on his painting excursions, and I don't know. I've been having fun.
It's very
I like it.
abstract. You guys are in the
Yeah.
abstract art movement.
We are.
Another creative thing, I'll call it creative, is I've been baking and cooking a lot. And I'm not the world's best cook or baker, but I am really good at coming up with like flavor ideas and recipe ideas. So it's been fun to just think of, okay, what ingredients do I have in the pantry? What can I make with this? And I'm like, all right, I live with my mom right now during quarantine. I'm like, all right, mom, I'm going to make some cookies and they have these three things in them. And they usually turn out pretty well.
Yeah, that's really fun. I have done some baking and cooking. I got myself a KitchenAid when they were on sale a few months ago, and I really have not used it as much as I thought that I would, but that's okay. You know, childish dreams on an adult budget.
That's the adult part of kidulting.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those memes where it's like, now I'm an adult with adult money.
And
Makes me laugh.
adult sized bills.
Oh, yeah. We're not mentioning that anymore in this
Oh,
episode.
right. No sad things. No sad things.
Um, yeah, I mean, I've also been making forts, which has been really fun. I have a pickler triangle for my son, so I just throw a blanket over it and we have a fort in there. And it's so cute. He takes his books in there and reads, and I just kind of like peek in at him. But it's kind of a way of like hiding from the outside world, and like having your own little space. And I mean, if you have a lot of space and a lot of blankets, why not make a huge epic fort in your living room?
Right? Like
Could you
that's
imagine?
if if anyone's a Community fan out there, it's like the pillow forts and blanket forts they would make in that show, and it's every kid's dream or every adult's dream, really.
Yeah, it's everyone's dream, actually.
Everyone's dream.
There is no age limit on forts, okay?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I used to make them all the time as a kid, and I don't really have good surface area for fort making in my house right now, but I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. I'm sure you can think of something, do something, make it happen.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I was a freshman in college, my friend and I used to play tag across campus, and we went to a pretty small school, so it was doable. But we would just be, walking to the dining hall, and one of us would shout, like, hit the other one and shout tag and just run off sprinting. And in hindsight, she and like, this was 10 years ago now, and she and I talk about, like, were we the biggest losers? And, like, maybe, but also I think back to just how carefree and fun I thought it was, where I just didn't care about what anyone thought. I just would literally sprint across. And if you know me, you know I'm not a runner. I would just sprint my heart out just because I was racing my friend who we were adults. Well, quote unquote adults. We were 18, but not a care in the world. And it's fun to like capture that feeling even
Mhm.
for even for a quick game.
Yeah, and to even have those memories to look back on. Something Marina and I have both been doing during this time is having like game nights. And I don't know if any of you guys also play this because when I've told my friends about it, more of them play than I actually thought that they did. But my husband is really into Magic the Gathering. I hope I'm not like revealing something that he didn't want me to tell people. But he has been roping me in to play with him. So I've been doing that and I win a lot. I don't know if it's beginner's luck or what. But I mean, I think it's really fun. And, at first I was kind of like just indulging him with playing this game. But I mean, now I think it's kind of fun. And like, I mean, I look forward to spending the time together, at least one Friday a week, one night a week.
We always have that one Friday a week that we like to remember.
Yeah, that one Friday a week.
Yeah. Well, that's like I lost power last week, and it was the middle of the day, and my phone was dying, and I was just like, what do I do with myself? Uh, and we ended up playing Monopoly Deals. Do you remember that game, Nicole?
I love that game.
It's so much fun. We played that game for like 2 hours straight, just game after game after game, and it was probably the best 2 hours I had in a month of just straight play of. And so if anyone likes card games and likes Monopoly, or if you don't like Monopoly, I highly recommend this game because it's basically Monopoly in card form, and it's so much more fun than the board game. So that's my unsponsored prompt for it.
Yeah, I like Monopoly Deals a lot, and there's also this other game that I really like called Seven Wonders and Seven Wonders Duel, and I really, really enjoy those games. And I think what I like about them is that it's like there's still like some competition, but it's not too complicated and it's over pretty quick. So I mean, if you haven't ever heard of those before, I would definitely check them out because they're really fun.
Oh yeah, Seven Wonders. I can contest because I play it when I go to Nicole's house, and she and her husband always trounce me, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, it really is the best. I love it.
But it's like, why I haven't played games in years, except for like random visits when I would see you or randomly with other friends. And I think back when I was a kid and would go to my grandma's house in the summer, we would play Uno or Rummikub or Dominoes. We would play a game every night before bed. And it was so relaxing. And I think I slept well. I was a kid, so maybe I was just sleeping well because I was a kid. But I think back to like something so simple, and we spend so much time on our screens that kind of getting away and turning off the tech and playing a simple card game is so. My mom and I played dominoes the other day. Like
Mhm.
not so much the like building the thing that you can knock over, but like the numbers side of dominoes.
Mhm.
And we listened to music and we just chatted, and it was really really relaxing.
Yeah, and since you're an adult, you can throw in a glass of wine and it's even better.
Oh, yes. We've been having lots of wine since I moved back
Yeah.
in. Um
Yeah. It's funny that you played Uno with your grandma because my grandma taught me how to play gin rummy.
And who won? Who would win most of the time?
Um, it was me. I'm just kidding. I actually have no idea. I don't really remember who won. I just remember sitting at her kitchen table and she would make me come in and play gin rummy with her.
That sounds like an awesome grandma.
Yeah, she was pretty cool.
I speaking of like playing with your family, I'm from the East Coast originally and now I live in California, so half of I live with my mom right now. She relocated. It's a long story. Anyway, but most of my family's back on the East Coast and I can't really visit right now, so we've been doing group calls and we did one a couple weeks ago where we all dressed up in Hawaiian themed outfits and made Hawaiian themed drinks, like either pineapple beer or I don't know anything about beer, but like beer with citrus or Hawaiian brand beer and Mai Tais. And we just talked for like an hour in our funky gear on the Saturday. And it was so much fun to just get dressed up and be really goofy. I think I think like playing dress up is a lost art that we should all bring back.
Yeah, I love that it was like a themed like Zoom call because we do Zoom calls, with friends and family and stuff, but we never have like a theme to it. And this actually brings me to another kind of adjacent point, I guess. But Marina and I were actually supposed to go on a trip next week to Turks and Caicos, and it was to celebrate. Well, Marina's not 30 yet, but it was like a 30th birthday trip with a couple of other friends. And of course, due to everything going on, that's canceled, which is fine. There'll be, I mean, hopefully there'll be chances in the future. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but I think like one thing that this is kind of inspiring me at least to do is to have a Zoom brunch where we pretend that we're on our trip
Oh my gosh,
instead of being at
totally.
home.
I'll wear my sunglasses. I'll put my straw hat on.
Yeah, we'll just pretend that we're there.
I think especially now more than ever, I know we're not talking about quarantine, but like just a little bit. I think because of all the what is the phrase you used earlier? Dissonance.
Mhm.
All of the dissonance we're feeling and stress and anxiety, like revisiting our childhood is a really important thing right now. I know I've felt really nostalgic and I've been rewatching old kid shows. Like for anyone who has Disney Plus, go back and watch Smart Guy. It gives you such
Mhm.
90s vibes. And I was watching it the other day and I was just like, man, it was like so nice to escape for a few hours while I watched that show.
Mhm.
And I think like playing pretend, even though that sounds like such a kid thing, that's an important part of adults. Like even though what is that quote? You don't get you don't stop playing when you get old. You get old because you stop playing.
Mhm.
And I think it's true. Like if you lose sight of who you were as a kid and the things you've found a lot of joy in, you'll have a harder time finding joy as you grow and have more stressors in life, no matter if there's a pandemic or not. And
Mhm.
so taking the time now to figure out like what do you genuinely enjoy that's not on a screen, that's not for some kind of profit that's not for productivity, but just for fun is a really important aspect to being an adult and to being alive.
Yeah, I think it's really important for us to kind of, like step away from our everyday lives and, kind of play pretend in some ways. And because like what you're talking about with shows, I read this, I don't know, was it a tweet? I'm pretty sure I shared it with you, Marina, the other day,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
where it's like we're rewatching shows because it's comfortable and like we know what's gonna happen. And I think it's sort of the same kind of feeling with like shows we watched as kids because it's comfortable, like we may not remember all the plot lines, but like we remember the characters, and those people were once like really important to us, and they're part of our memories of a time where our life was, I mean, as kids, like you hope most kids are able to be focused on joy and having fun, generally speaking, most of the time. So I think, yeah, turning back to shows that you watched as a child is like a great way to embrace play, even without like really having to do very much.
When I visited you last summer, do you remember we watched Xenon?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, so good. That movie, that's like my who I want to be for Halloween when we can dress up for
I
Halloween
know,
again.
'cause you make my heart go boom, boom, boom. Are you gonna sing?
Sweat minor, Aunt Judy.
I know, I know. Sweat major.
We need to bring that back.
Yeah,
So,
maybe we should watch it again.
speaking of watching Xenon again, there are apps that do this, but we should have a watch party and watch Xenon together virtually.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I think that'd be really fun.
All right, talk to me after the pod.
Okay.
We'll plan. We'll
We'll
plan.
set it up.
So, there's so much you can do, and you don't have to buy things to do it or even leave your house most of the time, but there's so many ways to get creative and just kind of play. And I think like, everyone should even just half an hour, carve out half an hour of your day or an hour on your weekend to just do something different and play and wipe the dust off of your board games or off of your VHS if you still have VHS players, and kind of take a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, so before we wrap it up, we're just going to leave you with a couple of ideas that, I mean, hopefully you can do this the weekend after you're listening to this without, too much effort or needing to get too many supplies. But, make Frose, do some puzzles, play charades, even if it's over Zoom, do 20 questions with your friends over Zoom, even. Make a fort, embrace tie dyeing. We love tie dye. It's, very trendy right now, so good time to try it out. Plan a picnic, go on a picnic, blow bubbles. I actually live in an apartment building, and there's some days where bubbles are like blowing up past like our window, and it brings me so much joy to watch the bubbles float up because I know
Oh,
someone down there is blowing bubbles.
I love that.
I know,
That's so whimsical, like a
I know, it's so cute.
mysterious bubble fairy.
Yeah, it's so cute. But yeah, even doing things like going on a nature walk and just, getting outside and back to nature, noticing what's around you, having a pajama party, doing a dance party in the middle of the day. I made homemade Play-Doh recently. My son doesn't love it yet, but that's okay. I'm not holding it against him or anything.
I might.
But
It's fine.
yeah, there's just so many things you can do, and my book has 160 ideas and activities in it. And there's also a bunch of recipes in there, which, I mean, of course, I recommend checking it out because I wrote it and came up with it. But the ebook version is also fantastic if you're not able to like go out and get it right now. It's pretty interactive. So, yeah, we just hope that we leave you today with the desire to go out and play and just to find joy in the simple things.
So we're back with another listener mail, reading a review left by my friend Angela. Shout out, Angela. Thank you for reviewing. Angela writes, "This is my new favorite podcast. Each episode has a relaxing, casual vibe and feels as though you've sat down with friends, grabbed wine, and talked about life. By the end of each effortless conversation, we find out a little bit about ourselves, and I did not realize that I was bad at relaxing until Nicole and Marina talked about how hard it can be to just turn off your brain and relax after work. The show is fun, relatable, and gives you something to think about for the rest of your day. Highly recommend it." We love that you can relax now, Angela, and thank you so much for giving your thoughts on our podcast. If you want to hear your review read, leave us a review or leave us a rating. We always love feedback. And see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.